I'm muted. Hi chat. We're doing SCP stuff today. Hi. Let's have it. Thank you kindly. I use it for airsoft. What was I doing? I'm not allowed to pick up the things that go on it. I mean, I can pick up this piece. The thing that attaches. Can't pick up the thing that this attaches to because Twitch doesn't like those. But I play airsoft with it. It's fun. But hi, hello. We're gonna be wearing this for the duration of this, and also webcam. I feel like we need some kind of spooky music though, or something, don't we? Something like that. I'm gonna be wearing this for the time being. If it ends up being too heat strokey, my headphones are off. They're over there. That was exceedingly loud. Thank you, Echo, for the subscription. Thank you kindly. What do you think, Echo? Huh? We got the kit. We got the kit. We got the Goober kit. It is extremely uncomfortable to just sit down in this because of the knee padding, but to be fine when it ends up being too hot. When am I ever too hot? Right, so we're going to be reading some SCP stuff. Okay, I've got the SCP wiki on my page right now. Literally going to be just me talking it. But it looks like Jesus. No, do I? Got good glasses though. Better than him. Yeah. Sorry, like yeah, it's extremely fucking loud. My headphones are over there. They're on charge. Wait. We need some kind of spooky music, I feel. What do we have? Problem is, I'm not able to raise my voice too high because people are trying to sleep. So we gotta. Actually, what if we turn out the lights? Would that be good? I have no idea how it'll look. I haven't tested it. Whoa. Is that good? What do you think's better? Lights on or lights off? Spooky. Little too dark, little too dark. Engharabuyo. Do I have a light? Do I have something? Don't think I do. Wait a minute, hang on. Let's see if the camera exposure can go up. Let me see. I need a softbox is what I need. Most of my light is from the most of the light is from the screen, the SCP wiki. If I like good lord. Hang on. Let me try adjusting some stuff. Kinda helps. We need exposure. Oh, the frame rate drops with exposure. Let's go. Good god. Get more frame rate with low exposure. Hard to hear you? Well, I'm sorry. I can't raise my voice. This is as high as it goes. Turn your volume up. Frame rate plummets when I do this. Let's try. Ooh. I think that's pretty good. What do you think? We got flickering though. Hold on. It might be annoying for a little while. Let's try. Get the anti-flicker doesn't work. Shame. Hang on a minute. The Leap motion controller is a camera source, apparently. What happens if I do that? I've activated it. It's not doing shit. Okay. Well, so, chat. We've got until either it gets to like 1 a.m. maybe, tops, or when my parents decide that I'm being too loud. So we are going to be reading some SCP documents. I think we need a bit of spooky music. Let's get some like... Get some music. I'm going to get the SCP Containment Breach soundtrack. After an ad. There might be ads if I do this. Trying to find if there's like a 1 hour SCP music. Nah, bugger it. I can't find anything. You might already have you ever read When Day Breaks? I have not yet, but what I intend to read first today is the team that I am on. I want to read the White Rabbits documentation and see what I can find out about them. Because I know the gist of that they deal with mind-altering or reality-altering things. So I really want to see what they are. Every SCP in numerical order I see. No. I'm trying to find out, how do you get to the MTF page on the actual Foundation website? I don't see anything. Hold on. There we go. Mobile Task Forces. Found the page. Have you seen that new SCP, whatever it's called? I have no idea. Yeah. Where's the list of teams? Lambda 5, White Rabbits. Here we go. Okay. We're gonna have a little read. Let's see what White Rabbits are about. Oh, my nails are long today. Damn. Alrighty. So, it says here. Who's that sick? Thank you kindly. Equipment's heavy as fuck. Task Force mission. Mobile Task Force Lambda 5 specializes in traversing unstable, surreal, and controlled reality, and containing potentially dangerous persons and artifacts capable of manipulating space and time. So they're insisting in the containment of objects 2446, 3087, 4507, 5179, 7582. I've not heard of any of these. That one's had its page deleted. 2446 is Akita class. That's a whole big document. Okay, I want to read about the team first. They have action reports. SCP-2446-B4 interview. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you very kindly. All right. On redacted, an instance of SCP-2446-1 manifested suffering from a near-fatal aortic aneurysm. Following extensive medical intervention, the instance was revived
and prepared for an interview in an attempt to determine the source of SCP-2446. Due to the instance's failing health, and also signs suggesting radioactive decay, the instance was confined to an isolation chamber and monitored remotely by medical personnel and parareality hazard specialists, while interview was conducted via standard teleconference equipment. Interviewed, SCP-2... I really should change out all the sound effects if I do stuff like this, shouldn't I? Thank you for the subscription, Brooke. Right. Interviewed, SCP-2446-B4. Instance resembles Jacob H. Wilder. Interviewer Dr. Redacted. Begin log. SCP-2446 says, "Where am I?" "You're at site, Redacted, in the medical ward. I'm here to debrief you. To begin with, what is your name?" "Colonel Jacob Wilder." "Does that mean I'm out? Am I safe?" This is another trap, isn't it? Tell me, you bastards." "Colonel Wilder, please remain calm. Sedation in your current state could be highly detrimental to your health." "Like you ever cared about my health. What are you going to do? Vivisect me?" Vivisect me? That would be ironic, wouldn't it? You cutting me up? "Please calm down, Colonel Wilder, or I will sedate you." SCP-2446-B4 is sedated for debrief. "Now then, we would like to know what happened to you and your team." "They're probably dead. To be completely honest, we should never have followed through on this plan." "Ah, what is this plan you speak of?" "We thought we could stop the bodies falling into our world. I'm assuming that I'm somewhere else, if you don't already know that." "I take it the situation was bad." 13 separate incidents of major public manifestation. One where a 4-ton mass of what looked like knights manifested on live television. In the end, we found a corpse with advanced enough tech, and after some experimentation, we found where it came from. Once we had done it, it was simply a matter to modify our existing reality stabilization tech to get us there. What exactly was the point of origin? Judging from medical tech in this room, that could be difficult to explain. How advanced is this timeline? Do you at least have Scranton tech, or at least paratech weapons programs? Can you create anti-reality weapons? I'm not sure I would have the clearance to know if we did, and if I did know, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm going to assume that you do then. The lab boys brought us down to a thing they'd put together. We were all loaded up into the machine, and then they sent us out to deal with the problem. I don't know much about teleportation and how it works, but I couldn't see anything, couldn't move. I felt like I was suffocating, and everything was just black. Then we started getting smashed around. Not sure why that is either. You arrived at the origin location at this point? Yeah, half the team was pretty beat up from the trip, especially the last part. So we initially tried to hide out in a nearby forest until the team could be patched up. That was our first mistake. We weren't sure how close to the source we were. And of course, we should have been more ready for a reality bender. You presumed there was a reality bender? Yeah, we wouldn't be deployed if it was just some portals. That would be Redacted's job, wouldn't it? I suppose. Anyway, any member of our task force is trained to make it through reality alteration. But we weren't expecting it to have been right on top of us. And the plants just strangled about half the team right away. Although a few of the crew kept moving for a long time after their heads came off. SCP-2446-B4 begins showing signs of distress as sedative wears off. Post-incident analysis suggests that SCP-2446-B4 began to experience accelerated radioactive decay at this point. But when we tried to use our tech to get out, and at first we thought we were, when the staff started trying to chop us up with cartoonishly large knives, we were pretty sure that we hadn't made it out. But about then, I blacked out, and when I woke up, I was here. End log. Closing statement. Following the conclusion of this interview, the subject began to vomit large amounts of radioactive material, suggesting excaboration of earlier symptoms, resulting in evacuation of nearby personnel. Remote monitoring of subject reveals unidentified substances leaking from subject, along with a massive increase in ambient radiation. Following this, the subject began to show signs of severe necrosis. Approximately 3 hours later, liquid remains of the subjects are retrieved and sent to cold storage. Testing reveals no further anomalous activity. Shitting hell. Footnotes 1. In order to ensure subject compliance, it is referred to by this name for the duration of the interview. Where was that? So, is that meant to be... So it's a member of an MTF force from another universe or something? Is what I'm assuming that's implying. It's interesting. I can't really make much sense of it. Apparently SCP-2446-B4. Well, 2446 is some kind of a thing where like bodies manifest. Yeah. SCP-2446 designates the occasional spontaneous manifestation of humanoid corpses in a roughly 12-kilometer area of San Jose, California. At least 2 instances have been directly observed manifesting and have not demonstrated any limitations of time or location. Certain instances have been found partially or entirely inside of other matter. SCP-2446-1 have been retrieved by Foundation personnel. However, it is unknown how many may be unaccounted for underground or inside permanent infrastructure. As all SCP-2446-1 share physical and genetic profiles with members of Foundation personnel. Typically agents involved with Mobile Task Force Lambda-5 White Rabbits. Multiple such duplicates have appeared for single agents. However, differences, namely in weight, build, tattoo patterns, etc., have been noticed between instances of related persons. See addendum for details. Most intact SCP-2446-1 manifest in an early state of putrefaction. Interesting. So in that case, if I'm a member of White Rabbits, there are random clone corpses of me, technically. If I'm a member of them. Oh dear. That's not pleasant to think about. I don't like that. SCP-2446-1 tend to appear in dress similar to Foundation issue Mobile Task Force combat gear. Style and composition of such dress, as well as worn equipment, vary frequently in both style and construction. No instance has manifest in clothing identical to those currently in issue. SCP-2446-1, which do not manifest in MTF gear, manifest without any clothes. Although physical factors like weight vary between duplicates, genetic makeup never differs significantly. Interesting. Okay. Then they have a big list of various different ones. Here we go. So, circumstance of recovery. Alley near Quimby Road, partially manifested around refuse. Caucasian male, 1.9 meters tall, 78 kilograms weight, dressed in Foundation issue combat clothes, with the exception of any armor or equipment. Appeared to have suffered severe compression. Possessed numerous extreme bone fractures, collapsed organs and lacerations, abrasions, and contusions on skin. War tags labeled Lambda-5 Alex Henderson. Genetic and physical profile match Foundation agent Alex A. Henderson, currently assigned to MTF Lambda-5. Another one that got recovered was at Alum Rock Park, beneath a stone bridge, manifested into dirt, rocks, and plant debris. Caucasian male, 1.9 meters tall, 71 kilograms weight, dressed in Foundation issue combat armor, implanted with subdermal GPS tracking chip on right side of neck, unmarked, possessed 12 7.62 by 39mm gunshot wounds on head, torso, and arms. Left side appeared to have suffered minor burn and shrapnel damage. Text A10441 Wilder tattooed on left shoulder blade. Genetic and physical profile match Foundation agent Jacob H. Wilder, currently assigned to MTF Lambda 5. Empty classroom, San Jose State University, Building 7. Hispanic male, 2 meters tall, 71 kilograms weight. Stripped nude, several ballpoint pens appear to have been manifested internally. Numerous internal organ ruptures resulted. Genetic and physical profile match Foundation agent Patrick Carter, currently assigned to MTF Lambda 5. Lake Cunningham Park. Manifested into Lake Cunningham. All solid parts were liquefied. Body and all equipment liquefied, likely resultant of its in-water manifestation. Retrieved DNA found to match SCP-2446-B1 and Foundation agent Jacob H. Wilder, which is the guy we had before. Large quantities of metal and SCP-148 were found in the water following manifestation. 148 is a different one. We'll have a look at that in a bit. Coyote Creek at Roosevelt Park, lower legs, right forearm, and front face liquefied. Front upper torso manifested into rocks and topsoil. Hispanic male, 1.8 meters tall, 63 kilograms weight. Dressed in Foundation issue full combat armor. Body lined with SCP-148. Partially damaged. 2 9mm gunshot wounds on head. Genetic and physical profile identical to SCP-2446-D1-D2 and Foundation agent Melissa King. And then Guadalupe River Park, retrieved alive. Data expunged. Genetic and physical profile matched with SCP-2446-B1-B2 and Foundation agent Jacob H. Wilder. So that's the interview we saw. Interesting. Okay, so, and then he liquefied into a radioactive thing, which it might be 148. SCP-148 is to be stored as 20 cast iron ingots, each of which weighs approximately 10 kilograms at the time of writing. Ingots of SCP-148 may not be housed at the same site as any SCP due to the potential for unforeseen interactions. Otherwise, said ingots should be distributed equally among acceptable Foundation facilities. The mass of each contained ingot of SCP-148 must be measured and reported monthly. Under no circumstances should any SCP with mind-affecting or extrasensory properties come into contact with SCP-148. In the event of such contact, the immediate area must be evacuated and the affected sample of SCP-148 detonated remotely. Personnel are not to be assigned to SCP-148 for a period of time longer than 3 weeks. Any personnel assigned to SCP-148 are to be given regular psychological evaluations. SCP-148 is a metallic substance composed of a variety of known and unknown elements. The total mass of SCP-148 on hand is approximately 1.2 tons. SCP-148 has a grey-green color with a bluish tinge and oxidizes readily in the presence of water. SCP-148 has a melting transition point of approximately 4,500 degrees Celsius and a boiling transition point of approximately 9,000 degrees Celsius. SCP-148 has a density of... They corrected themselves here. It was 6.20, but it's 6.76 grams per centimeter cubed, and it qualifies as HRC 39 in a Rockwell hardness test. It exhibits material properties such as strength, ductility, and workability similar to platinum. SCP-148 is composed primarily of platinum and iridium, the two composing 62% and 20% of its mass, respectively. In addition, several other known metals are present in its composition, including iron, cobalt, and copper, which collectively make up 16.5% of SCP-148's mass. However, given the mass of the material, it is believed that there are other substances not detectable by mass spectrometry or other means. Images of SCP-148, taken with a scanning tunneling microscope, show gaps in its lattice that under normal circumstances would be filled with other materials. SCP-148 blocks or otherwise hinders extrasensory mind-affecting properties of living organisms in proximity to it. This effect, while difficult to quantify, appears inversely proportional to the square of the distance from the subject to SCP-148's surface and directly proportional to the quantity of SCP-148 in consideration. The range for which this effect is detectable is roughly 0.8 meters per kilogram of SCP-148. 1.1 tons of SCP-148 were retrieved from the metallurgical department of the Prometheus Lab space facility during the Foundation sweep of the building. Documents concerned with the project had unveiled that the substance was to be subject to additional development, sold to redacted, trademarked, and sold as Telekill alloy. Oh, I know what that is. However, due to redacted and its political fallout, along with the destruction of the Prometheus Lab space facility, Redacted has acquired an estimated 1.3 tons of SCP-148 and sold it to unknown buyers. Foundation agents and forensic accountants are in the process of tracking the remaining supplies of SCP-148. Interesting. So it's Telekill. Huh. So the bodies, were they being found covered in Telekill? Foundation issue full combat armor fully lined with SCP-148. So it's Telekill alloy lining the armor. And as a result, I'm assuming like it's really, really powerful armor. Okay, so it's not like... So the 148 isn't appearing because of the bodies appearing. It is appearing because in a different timeline their outfits have Talagale alloy weaved into them. The origins of Talagale? No. No, these bodies just sort of have it. In that case, I'm curious as to what the radioactive substance that is created is. Hang on. Large quantities of metal and SCP-148 were found in the water following manifestation. Right, so that guy also had Talagale armor, and the suit liquefied as well with him. And that's why they found Talagale in the water. Okay. That makes more sense. Addendum. Research Report 2446-21. Due in part to recent developments in reality measuring technology, research and retrieval teams have initiated investigations into potential origins of SCP-2446. Although correlation between recorded human deficiencies and SCP-2446 have not been confirmed, certain readings fall outside of acceptable parameters for operation. Based on humological maps of the area, spatial disturbances most likely originate from an apartment complex located at 2525N Waterworks Street. Direct investigation is forthcoming. That is a link. That address. Is this a... This is another one of the documents to read. It's actually a story about what they did, what Lambda 5 did. Interesting. So all the bodies could have been people being sent to fight a specific cognito SCP that we don't know of. I'm not even sure because they all seem to have different wounds. One of them had like crush wounds, one of them had 7.62 bullet wounds, another one had 9mm bullet wounds to the head. So it seems to be relatively random. So not sure what that is. I don't think we'll ever find out. It's mostly just left up to question, really. Okay. So North Waterworks Street. We're still technically about the bodies at this point. So Task Force designation, MTF Lambda 5. Type, combat and containment. Distribution, specialized response. Moniker, White Rabbits. Specialization, operation in and containment of unstable, surreal, and controlled reality and containment of potentially dangerous persons or artifacts capable of heavily manipulating external space. Marcus St. George quietly rubbed his armor. He shifted, trying to prevent the metal lining from digging into his skin. But his car seat made it difficult. He couldn't feel it killing him, but he knew that it was, and felt that much. He wondered if it was affecting his teammates who'd worn it longer. He thought it was giving him a headache. That's not what Talagale did. Ever used this before? Agent Henderson asked from the seat across from him. It makes telekinetics really weird to deal with, but at least it's easy. I thought it wasn't affected by any psionics, replied Marcus. Henderson shook his head quizzically. Basically, there's still some that gets through. You know, imperfections. He moved a hand around his chest plate. Plus, there's enough space around that you can't account for without compromising weight or maneuverability. He made a little dancing motion. I mean, the armor dampens that, and nearly any RB won't be enough to do anything about it. But that doesn't mean that it isn't a weird feeling. The van they were in passed over a pothole and jumped awkwardly. Marcus had to readjust again. No, I haven't. ETA, Pat? Henderson called up to the front seat. Focus shifted. Coming up now, Agent Carter called back. Fantastic, Henderson clapped. What? Agent Wilder pulled out an earbud. We're almost there, Agent King shouted from the passenger seat. Agent St. George felt under-equipped for the mission. After a while, the van came to a stop outside of 2525N Waterworks, and the whole team turned to look at Agent Henderson. He took a moment to look down his subordinates and friends, and gave the call. Quick in and out, prep projectors, keep arms up, and watch your sides. He unbuckled his seatbelts and took a crouched step towards the back doors. Hoorah! Hoo-hoo, came his team. Hoorah, he said, opening the doors to a wide grassland. Oh no. Before anyone knew what was happening, the floor of the van buckled away. Grass and bush had manifested into a few of their feet. The entire front had been lodged into a hill, and blood painted the painted dirt red. Oh shit. Henderson, Wilder, and St. George were the only ones out before the whole vehicle was gone. None of them saw it vanish. What the fuck was that? Screamed Wilder, pulling a strand of woolly blue curls out of his ankle. Anderson steadied himself. He teleported us. In a flash, his left side was strapped in a big leaf maple. He screamed, and Marcus found himself back in the back of the van. A man sat across from him and stared intently. Marcus was startled and disturbed, but tried desperately to calm down. His pistol was on his side. This was happening too fast. You know, I've never seen your face before. Marcus St. George felt beads of sweat on his temple. The man was unarmed. That didn't matter. He could do what he just did. How did he do it? How fast? He tried to stammer out a few words to the man, but couldn't find any. He was going to die. He made a move for his sidearm, but found it wasn't there. He was definitely going to die. A hand reached around his mouth and pulled him back into the van wall. His head cracked against hard steel, but didn't bounce. He was stuck. A second figure stepped from the front seat into view, an exact copy of the first. The first pressed a palm to his cheek and pulled it to face him. I'm truly, truly glad that I could make your acquaintance. In the dead of night, a pair of men carry a dead body by its arms and leg into an alley off the corner of 5th and Madison. Either man is the same height as the other, and everyone watching could have caught a shared mannerism or two. They sway with the corpse, balancing each other in a hypnotic, almost religious rhythm. They have each taken the time from their lives to take part in this, and they will enjoy it how they do. This has become their life. The street is cold and dead, with the exception of the street lights and their faux warmth. Under a different light, its low-scale, urban, lower-middle class, retail, residential architecture could evoke any number of emotions, but time hadn't favored this one. The men approach the alley entrance. They can see 6th Street at the other side, past the walls of concrete holding the buildings on either side of bay. Both of the men understand the presence of this alley. They stop, holding the body parallel to the store and apartment fronts at their backs, and prepare to pitch it. They square stances, hunch, and put all the force they can behind themselves. The men twist, and the body rocks. They put their arms into the exercise and release in three heavy swings. Their entire bodies buckle as they toss it as high as they can, and it's gone. A breeze rushes to fill empty space, and the men readjust themselves to quietly appreciate their handiwork. They admire the empty alley. In another universe, a horrible mess has been made. Oh. So the bodies are So the bodies are murder victims, kind of. As MTF teams being killed by some reality benders. And then those reality benders are throwing the bodies into another universe to dispose of them. So that's why they're matching. But do they jump between worlds then? So they jump between worlds and kill members of the squad and just throw their corpses into another world. And then the ones that we encountered are ones from other worlds who've been thrown into ours. Interesting. Is the cave the environment? Yeah, their own environment. Interesting. Okay. That's kind of all we have on that note. We have 3 more stories for the Lambda 5. We have Lambda Killer, Rabbit Here, Rabbit There, and Lockdown Procedures. I saw that Rabbit Here, Rabbit There was linked after 2525 North Waterworks. So it might actually be a continuation. Let me have a look. Taking a while to load. No, this is different. This is different. Okay, we'll grab the remaining ones. Okay. we'll finish these off, and that'll be it for the stream. We'll read pretty much. We're going to read all of Lambda 5's mission logs, and then we'll end off because it is getting late. I left the stream very late, so I apologize for that. We'll definitely do more of this at some other point, though. Okay. Baseline. Wait, hang on. Lambda Killer. Black Queen Genosis. Black Queen Esther at your service. Black Queen Viridia here. My name's Ali. Sovereign Black Queen Adrelintha. Baseline. This phenomenon consists of two parts. The murder of the Foundation Mobile Task Force designated Lambda 5 and the individual responsible. Why is Lambda 5 so shit? Am I going to be the only good Lambda 5 member? Why do they keep dying? Alright. Mobile Task Force Lambda 5, also known as White Rabbits, is sent by the Foundation to contain the individual, and they subsequently die at his hands by various reality-bending methods. The corpses of the task force members are then transported to a different, random timeline. This is that same story. Okay. Prerequisites. Existence of the Foundation. Formation of Mobile Task Force Lambda 5 White Rabbits. From my observations, it seems that the following individuals need to exist to form Lambda 5. I'll be referring to these individuals as core members, as they figure prominently in my notes. Core members: Alex Henderson, Jacob Wilder, and Patrick Carter. There are other members of the task force too, though they aren't necessary for the formation of the phenomena. Their names are Valeria Luna, Jun Seo Park, Troy Wright, and Willow Marshall. Could you imagine if it said my name there? I'd scream. Additionally, the only thing that seems to remain consistent between manifestations are the names. I've seen Henderson show up as a woman on a couple of occasions. Whether this would make, quote, existence of nomenclature consistent with the given names of core members, a prerequisite for the Lambda Killer, is something else altogether. Lambda Killer? Really? Are we really using titles now for the dangerous phenomena? God, this guy's annoying. I'll take him out myself later. His powers could prove useful. Instance, timeline A056. Assembled task force included the core members and Luna. Died via asphyxiation. Death of Lambda 5, who was sent in by a senior researcher with no practical experience, spurred a revolutionary change among Foundation personnel, and eventually led to the restructuring of the O5 command system. The subsequent organization was unable to maintain communication easily between facilities and agents, and was revealed to the public within a decade. Further events are chronicled in the A056 timeline catalog. Instance, timeline A134. Assembled task force included the core members, Luna, Park, and Marshall, who died via chemical burns. They confronted the reality bender at a university, and the explosion killed a few civilians. I don't know how many bystanders were caught, but I'd estimate the death toll at 10 or 15. Instance, timeline A227. Assembled task force included the core members, Park and White. Cause of death was removal of all flesh and organs, leaving clean skeletons in MTF armor. The outer portions of the armor were painted with white Foundation emblems, covering every free part of the armor. This might indicate desires for a security breach by the entity responsible. Instance timeline B009. This is the timeline I used to live in. The Foundation sent the task force out to contain the person where he was staying, in the forest. I'm not sure who was in the task force, but it was at least 4 people. He killed all of them, but one through some sort of pulse. It was as if he waved his arms, and they fell over. And they all fell over, as if by a powerful blast. He grabbed the last one by the neck. I think he talked to them for a little bit, and then he threw the person away. They just vanished when they were thrown. I think they died in mid-air. I'm not really good with the catalogs yet. Sorry if I missed anything up. That was pretty good, though you should give us more precise numbers next time. Instance, timeline B112. I thought Adrelintha was supposed to have some other details on this timeline, but she hasn't updated her records in quite some time. Anyway, in this instance, several Foundation members were supposedly informed in advance about the nature of the entity, and Lambda 5 was accompanied by more military hardware than I've ever seen before. I wasn't willing to get close enough to get precise numbers, but the death toll should have been approximately 50 or 60, counting the core members and a few of the unessentials present. Instance timeline B118. I looked into this timeline myself. The task force included at least 4 members, though I couldn't identify who they were. From what I saw, there were at least 2 people attacking the task force. They were very efficient about it too, using some kind of hand gesture to snap the soldiers' necks from a distance. I saw them carry off the bodies into an alley. They threw the bodies at a wall, and then they just disappeared. I guess that's how they transport the corpses. They, plural? Do we have more than one person here? If there's many, then there might be one in each timeline. A reality bender like that in every timeline? Are these even real people? Or is it just a phenomenon? It'd be kind of you to refer to me as a human, even though I might not look it. That's the final statement from who? Blue text. No, purple text. Sovereign Black Queen Adrelintha. Huh. So what is this? Is this... Are these like people who can see other timelines? Or are these like people from other timelines? Black Queen. There's a lot of detail on that. I'm not going to research that right now. Interesting information though. Okay, rabbit here, rabbit there. Is it one guy with a major hate for white rabbits? Maybe? I don't know. I kind of feel a bit bad now because like that's the team I've chosen to be a part of, and they appear to be shit, like cannon fodder. Okay, rabbit here, rabbit there says, drone in place, sensors are green, reading stable. Roger, mobile station. Confirmation to drill. Confirmation received. Drilling now. We're getting more resistance than expected. Estimated MOS coming in high. Roger, mobile station. Read your seismology. We're running 0. Roger. You are confirmed to proceed as long as the readings are stable. Drone is progressing into the object. Drill is optimal. Drill has entered the object. Repeat, object is hollow. Gas present, possibly air. Reading non-toxic. We have minimal spatial distortion. Tether is holding steady. 0 pull. Why did he say repeat and then not repeat it? He said repeat and then proceeded to not do that. But okay. Roger that. Proceed at your own discretion. Activating pulley. Lowering drone. We have slack on the tether. Drone is on level footing. Descendant depth approximately 39 meters. Activating low light vision. Roger, do you have visual of inside the object? Yes. Low light is returning images of a building at the approximate center of the object. Please repeat, mobile station. Did you say building? Affirmative. 2-story residential appearance. At least 1 tree on either side. Ground is soil, plant, dead plant, likely grass. The entire interior has the appearance of a residential building plot. Building, tree, lawn. All plant life is dead. Building is in disrepair. Are you receiving this central command? Negative. Images are still in info hazard protection. Stand by. Images received. We can confirm that description. Mobile control. Roger. Drone to proceed clockwise around the structure. Proceed at your discretion. Drone is proceeding without difficulty. Rear left area of the house severely damaged. Initial impressions are of an explosion. Burn marks are present. Wall is in pieces. We have visual on inside of the building. Room contains remnants of a couch, cabinet, household furniture. Geometry is stable. Room contains a structure in the approximate center. Please elaborate, mobile station. Structure appears to be a statue, black, potentially made of obsidian. Stone. Statue depicts 2 humanoids. One average height, male, the other about half height, likely a child. Man holds a stone tablet. Child appears to have been depicted falling backwards. Description received. Please continue while images are processing. The surface of the structure is smooth, not clearly deteriorated or dirty. Stone slab is of a different material. Apparently just stone. Engraving is visible, and it is written in English. You have confirmation to repeat text. Anti-hazards are functioning normally. Roger. Repeating text. Data expunged, so you can't see what they said. Have you detected any other abnormalities? No, central control. Readings are stable. Do we have confirmation to continue exploring the anomaly? Negative, mobile control. Initiate a full extraction. Roger, central control. Drone is moving for extraction. Pulley is prepped. Removal initiated. Pull is solid. No interference. Should reach surface in T1 minute. Roger. Over and out. Pains me to hear the words over and out, but okay. So now we go into just like a conversation by the looks of it. Yes, and Agent Carter sat in stunned silence. And what? Agent Henderson was slightly confused. What? I'm not getting this. Agent Carter compulsively pulled his hair back. Everything about it is wrong. Agent Henderson stood up from the computer monitor. Well, okay, it's not strictly by the book, but what do you suggest? Carter paused, almost as if for effect. It's 2046. Henderson paused. What? I mean, 2446. It's the corpse thing, the reality bender. Henderson put his fingers to his lips, processing this information. We don't know that it's a reality bender. It's so obviously a reality bender. Henderson raised a finger. There was nothing connecting these two cases, except the location. Oh, no, yeah, totally. Something spontaneously appears in San Jose without warning or alert, inside of the ground. It's connected. Underneath San Jose. Underneath San Jose, yes. Also based on the description, it was hollow. 2446 manifests inside matter without moving it. They're completely different appearances. He could have moved all the dirt and then transported the sphere. So you're just suggesting the reality bender we don't know exists did this for why? Carter was silent. I don't know, but it could be anything. And that statue in that house definitely have to do with it, with why. It kind of has to. It has to. Look, Henderson put a hand on Carter's shoulder. I very much appreciate you looking into potentially connected anomalies, but you're going to go mad looking for connections that aren't there. What does the format of the document even have to do with this? Do you think the reality bender took over Central? Halfway through, they stop ending with punctuation. I've submitted elaboration requests on these docs, but they've been rejected. We still don't even know what 2446 is. We know what it is. No, we don't. We don't know what the bodies are, but the containment procedures have something to do with us. Is it a conspiracy? Carter was taken aback. I mean, it has to be. There has to be more here. More that we aren't privy to. We haven't been told anything. We're being told what we need to know. I'm sure we'll be briefed on 2446 when we need to be. I'll put in my own request on this doc, but for the time being, just don't worry about it. Carter sighed. Okay. I'll try to put it out of my mind. Thank you. Now, go work. Carter stepped out of his superior's office. He looked back before leaving around a corner in the hall. Henderson was disappointed in himself. Sitting behind him was the topic of his previous conversation. It's very upstanding of you, Agent, sparing his feelings. Please don't talk to me now. Tut tut tut, how very unladylike. Henderson closed his eyes. Every time they talked, he felt ashamed. What did you have to do with that record? Doesn't matter. Henderson gritted his teeth. Kinda does matter. Don't worry about it. Give me a little hand in the record keeping. Why are you here now? What, I can't stop by one of my very best friends? Henderson wanted to bite someone's nose off. Who was it that said we don't negotiate with terrorists? You always say that. Henderson turned around. I've never said that before. Charles Hull leaned forward and smiled. You always say that. Then he was gone. Henderson sat down and tried to forget. Okay. Forgive me if I don't have much to say. I'm trying to piece things together, but there's just not enough to really go on properly. So, yeah, we are missing some bits here. There's one more procedure. There's one more page. But I don't know if that's going to clean all this up. Corpse thing, the corpse thing, the corpse thing. Okay. The final document is named Lockdown Procedures. Okay. Foundation Standard Operation Manual, Lockdown Procedures, Revision 3.9, Site 81, electronic copy. Submitted to Foundation Records Database, archived file. All field personnel and Foundation staff have been issued a clearance-specific copy of this manual as of 1503-17. Do not copy or redistribute. Utilization. The purpose of this documentation is to inform personnel of basic procedures during on-site lockdown following a compromise of security or containment. Advanced copies, including recontainment protocol manuals for involved personnel, may be accessed by requesting such from your immediate supervisor. Refer to this manual as your most reliable source. Lockdown procedures must be fast in order to achieve effectiveness, utilizing speed as an advantage over the adversary threat. Misunderstanding basic regulations can endanger you and everyone you work with. Due to this, site administration requires all personnel to be familiar with this manual. Distribution. Unless directed otherwise, staff are reminded that the content of this manual is strictly classified and remains site-specific in context. Distribution across sites is a Type 3A offense. Exchange/viewing of copies provided to a separate personnel is also prohibited. Staff suspecting a breach of this regulation are to contact administration immediately. Is this general, or does it mention? No, I'm not noticing anything that mentions Lambda 5. Let me do a search for it. Oh, here we go. There's different codes. What's this? Classifications. Lockdowns happen in a multitude of ways, and there are an even larger multitude of things you need to consider as a response. Categorizing stops people panicking and conveys a clear description much faster and more effective than a conversation. The classification represents the origin of the threat. Note, not the severity. That is determined in the priority value, which will require possible tracking, liquidation, or recontainment by foreign MTF teams from other sites. Due to the often unfamiliarity of different sites, the AMTF/MTF teams require a way of understanding the threat and generating expectations before they reach the site. Multiple classifications can be used to describe a more complex origin threat. Currently, there are 12 classifications listed below. So there's a bunch of different colored classifications, but it also lists MTF teams for them. For example here, Code White, used to describe an assault of a highly organized major/minor assimilation force that on-site security are unable to combat. Staff are advised to evacuate immediately. All SCP objects are to be put into lockdown, and doors/entrances to the site blocked. Databanks may be encrypted to prevent hostile acquisition of vital information. Do not attack hostile combatants unless absolutely necessary. Await for AMTF battalions to arrive. Security are to protect staff and assets, not to repress the threat. Staff should be aware that defensive ARIs will be selected to combat human targets and may be indiscriminately deployed during the holding of the site. Listed MTFs include all Battalion Force AMTFs, such as MTF NU7 Hammer Down. Okay, so there's White Rabbits. Okay, so Code Magenta. Synopsis. Used to designate a lockdown involving a dimensional threat, including a spatial or temporal alteration, continuity error, incorporeal objects, transdimensional entities, or objects capable of breaking fundamental natural laws and processes. Special guidance. Default evacuation plan, unless evacuation shelters are rendered unprotective due to the nature of the threat, in which case site security will direct you accordingly. MTF teams may require extensive planning before entering the site, so prepare for a possible long wait. Listed MTFs. MTF Zeta 9 Mole Rats, MTF Lambda 5 White Rabbits, and MTF MU 13 Ghostbusters. And that's the only mention of Lambda 5 in this. Yep. Shit. That's all we get. Hang on. That is quite literally all we get about the White Rabbits. We can have a look at what other SCPs they are attributed with. There's exploration logs of one of them. I wonder if these are MTF White Rabbits. They are. Okay, so there's a lot more examples of them actually actively doing stuff on these pages. Both of which are... Okay, so SCP-4507 is an alleyway located in Anikabara, Tokyo, measuring 1 meter wide and surrounded by high-rise concrete buildings. Within the alley are sewage pipes, air conditioning units, and doorways that are either locked or open to brick-and-mortar walls. Satellite imagery confirms the distance between the alleyway's entry point and exit at 152 meters. If 2 or more individuals enter SCP-4507, they emerge approximately 5 minutes later at the center of redacted street, with no anomalous activity recorded. However, if an individual enters SCP-4507 alone, he/she will be unable to locate the exit, no matter how much time is spent in traversal. That's terrifying. Okay, and we'll read more in detail about that some other time. Now then, SCP-3087. Basically, I'm looking into like what I'm going to be dealing with as a member of this team. SCP-3087 is a circular area covering approximately 1,000 kilometers squared, in which anomalous phenomena affect overnight public transportation carrying more than 10 passengers. SCP-3087 is mobile and moves at a constant rate of approximately 8 meters per second. Vehicles affected by SCP-3087 disappear. This disappearance is permanent in 64% of cases. In the remaining 36%, the vehicle will reappear within 3 to 25 hours. Vehicles which reappear do so at night within SCP-3087. It is impossible to perceive or communicate with affected individuals during their disappearance. A limited amount of information regarding SCP-3087's effects has been gathered from interviews with the recovered passengers and recordings taken by explorative Foundation operatives. Once they have disappeared, affected vehicles travel through a series of anomalous locations. Several anomalous humanoid entities, collectively designated SCP-3087-1, appear aboard the vehicle as it travels. A list of all observed instances can be found in Document 3087-04. Passengers also experience abnormally powerful insomnia or hypersomnia, and exhibit increased rate of sleep paralysis if they reappear. When first discovered, SCP-3087's size was approximately 400 kilometers squared. After containment was initiated, its area grew to its present size. Initial containment procedures prevented any vehicles from passing through SCP-3087. After revisiting containment procedures to allow for infrequent passage, the area's growth stopped. Interesting. Okay. So that's another one to deal with. And then the final one on this list. Okay. SCP-5179 is an AISC distributed textbook labeled Book 3 Global Commerce. When an individual opens SCP-5179, they and anyone within a 10-meter radius will immediately be displaced into a pocket dimension. Grand. Reading SCP-5179 without activating these anomalous effects is impossible. When the use of a remote-controlled mechanical arm was attempted, the operator, Technician J. Hawkins, was affected despite being 20 meters away. SCP-5179-0 is a 2-scale replica of the Australian desert region, commonly known as the Outback. Instead of terminating where the region does, when crossing the edge of an outback, an individual will find themselves at the entry point of SCP-5179-0. SCP-5179-0 is inhabited by wildlife identical to the Australian desert region. However, no human-built structures are present other than Foundation Research Site 5179-0. That's weird. So, okay. If I was deployed, right? The guy in the van says he's never seen the MTF. Forget it. True. Yeah, multiple sets of them were killed in the same way. So it's definitely a case of that, like, that maybe they're having fun doing it. Or perhaps there's greater significance given the statue and the building and stuff, and like maybe that's connected. Or maybe it's completely wrong, it could be completely false. Hunting the rabbit. True, probably that. So if I was deployed to these locations, the body one, I'm screwed. Nothing I can do. The book, just don't read the book. Just pick up the book, pack it away, don't read. The whole way, make sure you just go down it with 2 people. Just go with your team. And the other one that was the bus thing where things disappear. Just kind of, you'd have to guard the area, really. You can't really do much about it. If you're on the exploration team, you just kind of go. You drive in. Didn't it say it needs to be more than 10 people? Carry more than 10 passengers. Yeah. So it has to be during the night, carrying more than 10 passengers, and you vanish. Spooky. Not like that. We are approaching Halloween, so perhaps doing these will be a bit more often. Didn't they have something to do with SCP-093, I mean. It wasn't listed on their card, but they might. No, Lambda 5 and White Rabbits are not mentioned in SCP-093's documents. Okay. I think that's about all we have time for, because it is approaching midnight, and people are trying to sleep here. There's a reason, the reason I haven't been able to stream very often is because of this fact, that I need to change my streaming schedule to be during the day, but I'm doing a lot of work daily. Plus, I'm trying to find a job. So, you know, I'm in a bit of a bad state at the moment, but I will be getting back into streaming. I'll try and find the time. Streams will probably be happening a lot earlier than they normally do, back to UK time zone. But it's just going to take me a little bit of time. We're going to figure it out. I want to do more of these sort of readings, though. Join us in the daytime stream. I will. Also, yeah, Leighton, that's the kit. Since I was doing SCP readings, hang on. I'll turn on the light again. Let's turn the light on. You didn't even realize? Yeah. Also got the and the helmet. What I use for airsoft. Especially because now I've got a new airsoft weapon, Leighton. I can't show it on stream because Twitch will kill me, but I can show that a magazine for it. So I've got a proper primary weapon now. I've got a full-on AR. I'll DM a picture of it to you, Leighton, actually. Is it rated for airsoft? Well, the gas mask, yes. I have worn it to airsoft. You can barely see shit, but it's fun. You know, Leighton, hey, if you're available, I'll call you after this. Alright, but we're ending off. We're going to go ahead and raid. So who are we going to raid? Probably the bunny channel again. Unless anybody else is online that I want to raid. Do we throw you all at? We'll throw you at the bunny channel. We do this all the time. We just read stories about white rabbits. There's a bunny in front of the camera. We're raiding them. Remember to call, man. Sorry, I got headbed. That's alright, that's right. I'll just send you a picture. It's really late as well. I really shouldn't be. Oh, we got an ad break. Okay, well, we're going to wait for the ad break to finish before we do this raid. Patience. There's tons of rabbits on the camera. This will be good. You know, I'll do more of these facecam streams. I'll do more of the kit ones, reading SCP documents or playing SCP games and stuff because I've been getting really into it again. I might even write my own stories or something like that because, like, to be honest, there are a lot of good ones and there's a lot of ones that are like done better. So I think I kind of want to throw my hand to the ring, see what I can do. Come on, ad break's almost over. Those of you who are subscribed, you know, you don't get ads. You're lucky. You're good. You're part of the cool ones. 27 seconds, come on. I've got to get myself some kind of food. I'm going to sneak downstairs and get myself a snack. So I am starving. And then time for bed. I'm sorry that my voice wasn't really that good for this stream as well, because of course I got to keep it down. But if I do one during the day, I'll get to put on my proper narration and voice acty voice and really put that to the test. So that should be good fun. I was tempted to do the stream with the gas mask on and stuff. No, can't see. First off, so reading will be terrible, and you will not be able to hear me. I have this though. There's a radio. There you go. There's a signal there. Oh, there it is. Ooh. Strange. What about getting a soundproof foam? Yes, I used to have some. I need to put some up. But it's not really going to help very much. The walls are made of fucking paper. But I'll get some. It might help a little bit. Every little helps, really. Especially while I'm here. Was that I'm writing for an audiobook narrative? Well, don't do it based off this. I've had to keep my voice down. Wait until I do a proper one, and then you can judge whether my narration's good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and raid Bunny channel, your Bunny TV. Go ahead, everybody, hop in the raid van. We'll be doing more of these some other time, probably during the day. That time instead. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. You've been a wonderful audience. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and a wonderful day I'm hoping you're having. I'll see you all next time. And if you want to join my Discord, you can do so through that link in the chat right now. I upload all my VODs to ItBe VODs on YouTube, and I upload videos to ItBe Ryan, my main one. Yeah, there is also a secret Airsoft channel that I have. It's not secret. ItBe Airsoft, if ever you want to see Airsoft videos. I don't have any uploaded there yet, but I will when I start playing some more. Alright, thank you all. Have a good time. Go on, get in there. And to those of you who are watching the stream as a VOD after the fact, or decided not to join the raid, hi. Bye.